Right, got some preparation work to do here. These are phase lines, feed lines and delay lines for 40 metre phase verticals. The delay lines actually multiple pieces, so I can add in little chunks of delay. For example, this is 2.5 degrees, I've got a 5 degrees, and I've got a 10 degrees there. So that's for fine tuning the array. 2 element phased array, so but we don't need them, they've been done for a minute. But what we need to do is we need to actually look at preparing the verticals. So in this lovely little box here, I've got some plates, I've got a feed point, and we need to fit these to some poles. In here is some DX10 wire, don't need that just now. But what I do have is 2 of these very lovely poles. These are signature 9s. So I need to prep these so I can get the feed points done. But I guess the first thing I need to do, I don't have any nuts for these. I've got a lot of M6 stuff here, so I guess I need to put, these will be ground connections. So I need to have a look and see. Take that out, put one set away, one set out. So I need to actually see what I've got here. Oh, here we go. By the way, you actually get these boxes here in a shop. I think it's called B&M's, and really good, not expensive. So we need to get an M6. Quite long, but they'll still work okay. Whether I've got any shorter ones, let me have a little look here. Let's screw this in here. Yep, and I've got a little bit of extra length here, but I think that's okay because I'm going to have multiple bunches coming from these. So we'll need 12 of these in total. But let's do one set. Let's do one first, so I've not got so much stuff there. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll need spring washers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plain washers. Going to need a few of those. So, and I've not actually looked at any instructions how we usually do this, but why not put spring washer. Plain washer, put that in there, so. Now because I'm going to be taking these up or down, I actually want to lock this, alright, so I don't want to strip the thread when I'm putting the wing nuts on and off, so let's put another spring washer on here. And what I do have is something called a half nut. Now these are actually used for locking, so they're half the width. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Let's take 2 of those. That. And let's tighten that up, which I think is already pretty good. This is pure overkill, by the way. Yep. And then let's get our 10mm. These are all stainless steel, by the way, 304. There we go. So we can get our I like to squash the connectors, the fork connectors in between it. Actually, there happens to be one in there. Yeah, that's going to be okay. I've got a couple of them in there already. And then that. I mean, this is just. Nah, I'll not bother with the spring washer, that's just taking the mick, don't need that. Wing nut, there we go. Something like that, I guess. Spring washer, plain washer. Now I have loads of radials here already, so I don't need to make those. So on each vertical that I'm going to put out for 40 metres, I should have around about enough wire on the ground for about 20 quarter wavelengths. So that's way more than the 16 quarter wavelengths where we start getting diminishing returns, and I think if I remember right, they're all about 4 meters long, so that should work all right. Now this phasing array is a little bit different to what the standard Christmas method is. So we're not using 84 degree feed lines and 71 degree delay lines. We're using, well, I'm using 79 degree, 84, 71 is the conventional. I'm using a 79 degree feed because the main thing is they just need to be even. I probably would have used 84s, but what I'm actually using now is I'm using 2 feeds at 79, identical, and the delay line which goes in between, so for flipping the directions and getting the front to back and gain, I'm now using a 121.5, or at least that's what the design says. So Christmas time, I was lucky from Santa to get the ON4UN low band DXing book, and I won't lie, it kind of completely fried my mind. But I took a couple of chapters, I think it was chapter 7, chapter 11, regarding arrays, and I've actually basically put them into ChatGPT and basically drilled them from there. Because depending on the spacing of your verticals, the electrical spacing, which in my case is 3/16, 0.1875 or 67.5 electrical degrees, there's a little calculation you need to do to work out your delay. As I say, mine is 121.5 going by the theory. So you look at something called the null angle and do a little bit of calculation, a bit of trigonometry, and then you do that, which is what I've done. But the reality doesn't always meet the theory because it's based on ideal ground conditions, antennas, because we don't always get, in fact we never always get, a perfect ground mounted vertical with a feed point impedance of 36 ohms, 0 reactance. It's going to be a couple of ohms of reactance realistically, and probably about 40 ohms, something like that, of resistance. So that's where we got the calculation from. That's what I'm really curious to see if it's actually going to work. Okay, that's looking not too bad. Now we've got a feed point to put on here, don't we? So this, I've yet to open this. Here it's here. Old Faithful, and that's actually what it's called, Faithful. I like these because they just use Stanley blades, but deadly. But these are Stanley carbide blades, so really sharp. But this thing actually looks really good. But obviously, don't be taking it out anywhere. If you've got this out with you and you don't have good reason, then the chances are you might have a little stint in the cells. Right, feed point here. Step 1, this is a puzzle. Step 2, failed step 1 user guide here. Does that mean I'm going to have to get my phone out and actually have a look at this? But you see, if I had a little QR code on this, there we go. Checking I'm not a robot. Excellent. I'm just going to look at the picture here, because it can't be that difficult. So, here's our feed plate. So this is where it's going to connect to. So it's going to be like that. Let's put that in here. Oh, get it the right way around. Now here's a thought. So this is a round hole into this ground plate, and these, I guess they might not always be the same, but you see how these have got little flats on them? So if this is cut, water jet, laser, whatever, if it was cut with the flats on it, then you could align it with these flats, and then you wouldn't need to hold it when you tightened it up. But that's just the engineer in me, there's nothing wrong with it. But doing that, it then does limit your supply of SO239s. If you get them without the flats, then you're in a bit of shtick. So it's probably better just to leave it as is. Now I should have a spanner that's going to fit that, and it should be about 3/4. Let's try this 3/4 here, am I right? Yes. I probably shouldn't do this because it really probably doesn't need it, but I'm going to leave the cap on there, and I'm just going to grip that, watch the SO239, hopefully that'll just be enough. Just give it a little bit more nip. I had this before. I think I was maybe able just to grip the lip at the back. There we go. There's a little bit on it, but that's good. And yeah, so that's us got our SO239 on. Now before I do anything else, I want to actually check that guide again because I want to put together one of these on the poles. Now I take it this is for sealing it when it's out in the field, this little bit of self-amalgamating tape. I better keep that. Our stickers and our QSL card. I don't think I need this box just now. Now, what we're going to do next. Right, let's get a pole. I guess that's to go over there, like so. But then that means, actually I should have put the end cap back on this. Idiot. And then this is to go in here, By the way, I don't know if I said it's only 1.5 degrees in here, so pretty chilly. I'm not staying out here very long. I'll come back out. So tighten that up. Right, and then spin our plate round. Okay, cool. So that's going to go into here like that. I think we've got something to hold these down. Now this is DX10, right? And I love this stuff. I'm just going to show you why. Now, as I say, it's 1.5 degrees in here at the minute, okay, Celsius. So pretty close to freezing. Now, if I take, do I have any here handy? These two wires are similar on the internals. They have the same number of wires. One is PVC and one is this DX10, right? Come on, where are you? See this stuff? Like this. Look how stiff it is. Look, I'm bending it, going back. This. Let's take our piece of DX10. Now I know it's springing back, but that is night and day. The flexibility in that. So that's why, this is alright, this stuff. I use this for random things, but for the nice slinky stuff that's flexible, definitely this. But what I need is these easy clamps. Everything's very well packaged here. Now I think these just clip in. I did have these before. Oops, there we go. Right, now, and I think this then just goes round here, doesn't it? And it holds that in place. Or am I getting that wrong? I think so. Now I think I need an 8mm, I think it said. Let's see what I've got here. This little ratchet set here, this Tank Tools ratchet set, I bought when I was 14 years old. From the tool man that used to come round my dad's garage. Little Tank Tools, and I'll still use it to this day. It's fabulous. But unfortunately, the little spring and stuff came out of this, so the wee ball has come out of it. But they don't make this model anymore, it's that old. But it's just brilliant. So, easy clamp, 8mm. Yep. Cool. So we can just now get this. I do have an electric gun here, a battery gun, but I'm not going to take that out to do this. Now, there we go. That's going to hold that on there. Like so, something like that. Push that down. There we go. Very good. So I need two of these, and I need them completely identical. Alright, now I know I really need to cut that tail off, but I'm not going to do that at the minute. So then I need to connect the little tail to here, I guess. Or like that. But I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that right now. Cool. Very good. Look at that. That's just neat. So I'm going to have two of these. So getting it this way was much simpler than actually constructing another two of these boxes here with these clamps. So much many more parts. Nothing wrong with these, and I made these for a specific reason, and especially because I was linear loading, but I really don't need to do that. So this is our new method, and this is going to be the 40-meter phased verticals. There we go. But we've still got another job to do, because this pole is not ready to be used. All my poles have this Jubilee clip, bits of rubber, paracord. Now remember, I'm not crushing the pole with this, okay? So there's no crush on it, it just takes up the tension. But that's the way that I used to guy it. But in order to guy them, I need to see if I've got any Jubilee clips. Right, what have I got here? This is a lot of my RF connections in here. So I've got these, let's see. That's just to nip it. I could use these. No, that's not going to work. I should actually check the diameter of these poles. So this is 41 in diameter. And what is that for? 41 to 60. 40 to 60. So this might work. It means I need to cut them down, but that's okay. I've got a little Dremel there. Let's take two of those out now. And I've got some pre-cut pieces of nitrile rubber. I've got a sheet of nitrile rubber somewhere I got off eBay. So I need 3 of those. So if you see these little bits of nitrile rubber, so these are just the same width as the Jubilee clips. So what I want to do, 7mm is actually an incredibly common size socket. And I think that Ford actually used a 7mm bit on their cars. I think it was a 7mm Allen key perhaps on the brakes, rear drums. These are stainless steel Jubilee clips. I can't remember where I get these from, but they're not expensive. Bolts R Us or something. I think that's what it was literally called, Bolts R Us. So if I fold this stuff around here, and that's hard to show, can I get that down to you there? Can you see that in there? It's going to go around here. But I need to cut that down just a little bit. These were would be originally designed for my 12-meter pole. Let's try these snips. I actually got these snips for my Christmas. These are Nipex side cutters. Brilliant. What are these going to be like to cut it? Oh, these cut it nice. Yeah, these Nipex side cutters are unbelievable. They cut, honestly. They're just superb. Big fan of Nipex stuff. So I just want to leave 3 little gaps here for our string or paracord. It's Mastrant actually I'm using. I'm going to just take another little sliver off and use that as the template. Put it up against that one. So we need to try and position these. Now when this goes down on it, the clamp needs to be further down here. Alright, so here's somewhere. Let's see. I think I'm going to need to loosen off this Jubilee clamp. Let's back that off again. It's going to need a good bit. But that means it's going to work. It does take a little bit of fiddling just to get these positioned right and get them equispaced. So you've got to think of where you actually want the string to be. Now what we need to do is we just need to put a little bit of tension on this. We won't crush the pole, don't worry. And it'll just take the shape, the form. And we'll back it off again, don't worry. Because as we create that form, it'll make it nice and round, the Jubilee clip. Right. So, I don't know how that's going to show up in there. But we've got not bad equispacing. And that's fine because I still need to get my fingers in there to get that cap off. I'm going to need to take this off, remember. I could cut it on the pole, but I don't want to do that. I just want to know where I'm actually going to be cutting this. Okay, so let's put a little mark on this. I don't want to screw it all the way back. Let's take that cap off. Right. Right, let's get this up here. Right. Screw that in so we could find our mark. Okay, yeah, we've got it. Let's have a go at this. Let's see how good they are. There we go, cut. Hey, there we go. That was easy. Now we do have a sharp edge there, but I'm not worried about that. Bit of a dicht. If I can run my hands over it and that's okay. Yep, that'll be okay. So now we need to back this off again. Oops, that's what happens. Just annoying that that little spring got lost. I can't get to replace it. Right, just put our cap back on, see where we need to be. Now this Jubilee clip's taken the shape already, which is good. Once you've got this set, remember, you don't need to touch it again. It's done, it's finished. Now, we just don't want these moving, and I want to make sure that that's level. So, if we look at that, can you see that that's in there, like so? So, that's not, it's not crushing the pole. It's just, the tension's up on it, and that will work grand when I've got this guide out. Now, I wonder if I've got any, which mastrant I've got here. I've got some mastrant M here, but I'm going to use this mastrant P. I love this stuff. So, because it's not going to be out permanently, so I need to get a loop through here. Now you need to heat the ends of these. I'm just going to flatten it down a wee bit so it goes through. So you need to cut them and then flatten them. Right, so how much do we need here? Because remember, we're going to tie a knot in it. Yep, that'll do. So I'm going to use 6 of these. Just gives it a little bit of redundancy. So once you cut it, take the end, just burn it. So, oops. I think I'm going to need to top that up. The gas. Here we go. So let's start threading these through now. Okay. So doesn't matter whether you go top or bottom. Just whatever works. The cap would actually help if it comes off. So we want to just tie a knot in these, double knot. This is just providing redundancy, by the way. That's all I'm doing here. Can you see that close up? Like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these. Cool. 5 o'clock. Right. We'll come back to this just very shortly. Right guys, we're back some hours later. So we fitted the first leg with the mastrant P, so now we need to get the other legs on, so let's do that. Let's take this, so I'm not going to be out here much longer, I just want to get this done for the night and then I can... Now these just need to be equal length, not equal length to the other sides, just so you're getting equal strain on them. As long as they look right, they'll be right. Let's trim those down. In fact, see this? I'm actually just going to get some gas. There we go. I'm saying these Nipex snips, they'll cut just about anything. There we go. There we go. You see the breath in here? That's not me smoking. Can we see that? Where we have 3 lots of guying points. So that's good. Now if we look back at this end, you can see that I still don't have the guy point connected. I should have done that. So let's do that now. That's almost about the last job. Is that how we're meant to do it, guys? Connect like so. But yeah, there we go. And so that's connected to there. So just thinking about what do we need to do now. We still need to get an element point, so I still need to decide which one to use, and I think I'll use this one or this one. So that's for our feed point, guys. I think that'll work okay. or for the antenna connection point. So there we go, guys. That's our feed point complete, I think. That'll work out quite nicely. So now I need to actually repeat this process for the second pole that I have. But at least I know what I'm doing with the second one. That's going to be a little bit quicker. And then I need to think what I'm actually going to do and what I need to do with the rest of the stuff. Because I've made the phasing lines already, or what should be the phasing lines. Feed lines and delay line. I've got that in that box behind me here. So this is a what do we call this? An extension waterproof box. So people with their Christmas lights, they put their mains extension leads inside one of these. This one is really quite strong, and it just needed a slight little bit of modification. Some work with a file, and then I've actually got everything inside here, which is really, really good. So got the relay switch box which goes outside. I've got a control unit for the shack, got a spare. Now these are delay and phase lines for 20 meters. And I've just left them in the other night. I might buy another one of these boxes because I will have a spare unit. Alright. But there's loads of room inside this. This is the coax for 7.1 megahertz, so it's not a lot. I'm just using RG8, which is quite interesting because I don't need to spend a lot of money. There's not a lot of loss, and I'm not running stupid power. But I'm using these crimp connectors, which I seem to find that they have minimal electrical length effect, unlike these compression fittings, which adding inductance, capacitance or something, but they're certainly affecting it. But these crimp connectors do not. So that's our coax lines. So we just need to get the other vertical built, and then we can actually start thinking about putting it outside. So that'll be an interesting job. Verticals are done already. Grab those. I think that's actually a bunch here. I've not looked at these for quite a while. Here. So that's half of them. So that's for one vertical. And I could see this orange stuff. This must have been for a 40 meter vertical, I think. But you can see I have bunches of. There is wow, there's 6 wires in each of these, and each of them have 4 meters on them. So that's a lot of radials. But that'll have to wait for another day. Alright guys, we'll catch you next one. Bye for now.